Hello everyone, my name is Dmitro, welcome to my channel, and today I'd like to speak with you about FOODSAFE Certificate Level 1 final exam. While my memory is fresh, I just have passed it, and I can tell you a few words about questions and answers in this exam. How do they look like? Because I was really nervous before passing that like maybe I will have too many questions about bacteria and I will not pass the exam, and because it's really hard to remember all the bacteria, what diseases they cause. And when I started to read questions, so I felt it's so easy, and I answered 47 questions correctly out of 50. So I will tell you a little bit about this question and answers, but you have to understand that I can make some mistakes, so you have to double check everything and to be prepared to any type of questions, and they can be different, they can be like completely another ones, and I can tell you something wrong, so be careful, just rely only on yourself. So what types of questions will you have? First type of question is a type where you are asked for something exactly, it's like numbers, or like what is the main source of Staphylococcus bacteria? So it's people when we handshake, right? Or under ideal conditions, so how often the bacteria divide into, so it's 20 minutes. Or speaking about temperatures, so at what temperature should we keep our food in the freezer? So it's 18 degrees below Celsius, below zero. And speaking about refrigerator, it's 4 degrees. And if we are reheating food from the cooler or whatever, it has to be reheated up to 74 degrees Celsius above zero. And if we are hot holding our food, so it has to be 60 degrees hot holding all the time, right? And it has to be preheated before hot holding. What else can be asked? I have some notes here. So how long do we wash our hands? Like for 20-30 seconds. And what else? For example, what is the correct sequence for putting away a food shipment? So if you're getting a lot of dishes, a lot of food in one delivery, so first of all you have to go with fresh seafoods, and you take frozen ones, and then you take salads and fruits, and vegetables and fruits, and after that you take dry foods, right? Also, you can be asked like what is the correct sequence for manual dishwashing after scraping and pre-soaking. So it's like washing, rinsing, sanitizing, air drying. What else? So important step for preventing like pest infestations. So you should store your food at least 15 centimeters off the floor. So it's like one type of questions you will have. Another type of questions you'll have is like question about your food safety plan. So you have to study like basic definitions like critical limits, what are they? So what is a monitoring action in a food safety plan? Or you will be given some exam about some critical points in like breakfast, and you will have to say what you should do in that case. Okay, and let's go to different questions now. What my notes are saying. So you can be asked like what type of food contamination is described, and you have to say it's like physical, chemical, or biological one, or maybe it's a cross contamination, or you can be shown like some unacceptable food handling, and you will have to say it's what kind of situation is it, like is it unsafe source, or improper cooling, or improper heating. So I think these questions are very easy. And so what else? You can be asked about food allergies, and so what are the most popular ones? So is it salt, or maybe peanuts? Of course it's peanuts, or dairy products. And why should food handlers understand microbes? Like, of course, it's like for pathogenic microbes, it causes disease in humans, and the course is all about food safety. Also, you will be asked many questions which are very simple, but they are a little bit tricky. So you can ask like, what is the most important reason to understand food safety, or to hold food in a temperature hotter than 60 degrees. So you should always answer like not to keep food more tasty or flavorful, to prevent pathogenic bacteria from multiplying. So it's the main reason. So to keep people healthy. Also, you can be asked what are the major components of the cycle of transmission. So it's like food handler, and environment. Also, you have to remember that single-use utensils, we throw them away when we use them, even if it's just for tasting. And if you are ill, so you have to stay at home, not to put on your mask and prepare food. And, of course, you have to choose the most safe answer or correct answer. Right? What else? So, for example, like some situations where some guy delivers you by bicycle of fresh chicken. So what should you do with that? Of course, like temperature was not controlled and kept there on the bicycle, so you have just to reject the order. Also, you have to remember that food must never be sold at room temperature. And I had this question also. Or for example, why should raw meats or seafood be stored below or away from ready-to-eat foods in the refrigerator? So of course, like to prevent contamination. How can we like be sure that we have reached a high enough temperature to kill bacteria by like keeping food, like for example, in the oven? So of course, it's by using a food thermometer, or like to check the internal temperature, right? And like when should food thermometers be calibrated? So they have to be calibrated frequently or after being dropped. What are some examples of single-service utensils? So like straws, paper cups, some plastic bags. Speaking about like buffets, so how should like for example salad bar be serving spoons? So we like should keep handles not touching the food. That's important. And some questions about dishwashing, like for example manual dishwashing. So what do we do, and like what temperature should we reach in the like washing machine? So it's like 60 degrees above Celsius. It's the minimum temperature during the wash cycle. And speaking about construction, so like what's the most important reason for designing a kitchen properly? So it's just to reduce risk of food contamination. So I think that like mostly if you understand these questions, so you can get even 50 out of 50 now. Good luck.